daily live in the Bleacher Report app or Bleacher Report YouTube. I am Nikias Duncan, joined as always by my guy, the always excellent Steve Jones Jr. Steve, how are you?
Good to be here. Happy to be here. Good to be here with the People's Champ. Excited to talk some more NBA basketball. We got stuff happening. We got stuff that hopefully will happen soon. I'm just juiced to be here.
I respect it. I respect it. Right before we hopped on, Steve, we saw some news trickle in. DeAndre Ayton is officially slash finally a Los Angeles Lakers. Do you have any quick thoughts before we get into our actual stream for today?
We'll break it down a little bit more later. But DeAndre Ayton finally made a move, cleared waivers, is a Laker. Laker fans, be happy. Stop being greedy and asking for other things. You have more than Jake LaRavia, but I want to manifest it because yesterday we talked about the Lakers need to do something. So now I think it's time for the Warriors to do something. It's time for Jonathan Kuminga to do something. So let's get that. Let's keep this streak going.
That is a fantastic segue. Jonathan Kaminga seems to be the biggest restricted free agent on the market at the very least. We're waiting on that domino to fall. Could come back to the Golden State Warriors, but a lot of signs point to him landing a sign and trade elsewhere. But before we get into actual destinations, worth noting, Jonathan Kaminga is quite good at basketball, quite the downhill threat. Steve, what stands out to you most about Jonathan Kaminga's game?
A lot of things stand out to me, Nikias, about Jonathan Kuminga's game. I think the biggest thing is just what's it going to look like in a different context. I think we've seen the aggression grow. We've seen his downhill drives, the efforts defensively. So I think there's a lot of it that's in there. What does it look like outside of the Golden State system is probably where my mind's at. Or is it time for Golden State to commit to Kuminga, keep him there, and let that blossom in their system with what they do? Can he grow defensively? Will the jumper improve? Will he continue to be a downhill threat and a post-up threat? I'm just trying to see exactly what do we have here. That's at the point where I'm at.
I got you. I got you. Steve, you talked a little bit about Laker greed before we got into Jonathan Kaminga talk. And one of the first comments I see is Giannis come to the Warriors. That does that count as greed for you? Does that classify? That feels a little greed. Steph and Giannis.
That's
that
not.
feels
It's not greed. That's hope.
that's okay.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, I'll get you giving grace to the chat. That's fire. We'll let it rock.
The
We'll let
the,
it rock.
the chat should dream.
No, Atlanta. I feel you. I feel you. But as noted on screen, Jonathan Kuminga, a restricted free agent. If a team gives Jonathan Kuminga an offer sheet, the Warriors can match. But we are here to talk about potential sign and trade destinations. Steve, have a list of four. We're going to go back and forth. I start the bidding with the Chicago Bulls. This just feels like a natural on-court fit for Jonathan Kuminga as the Bulls were second in pace this past season. They took a lot of threes. They really got up and down, flowed in transition. Jonathan Kuminga adds a level of athleticism and transition and overall downhill juice that I think they could use. And they have role players that I think the Warriors would like. I'm sure they would ask about a Kobe White. I'm sure they would ask about Nikola Vucevic if they want to add to the big man room. With signing trades and with Jonathan Kuminga likely getting as big of a raise as he's going to get, I'm thinking he's going to get at least 20 mil a year, probably in the 20 to 25 million dollar a year range. Got to deal with base year compensation and all the good stuff. So I was trying to find a team that made sense for Kaminga on the court, but also had some mid-tier salaries that could go back to Golden State while also having a big trade exception available to make it a little bit easier to deal with. And Chicago meets all of those qualifications for me. They're top of the list for me.
I understand it. I think again, as with their style of play, he fits in with their timeline. He fits in. I think there'd be room for him to continue to grow and attack offensively. So I like that team. I have an ally. Number one, I saw in the chat. I misreading the articles. No, I misreading your chats. Send more. I have an ally. I believe it was Tsunami. Send Jonathan Kuminga to the Sacramento Kings, and that's the number one team on my list.
Hey.
Let's change things up. You got Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis. Do you need all of them? No. Get Jonathan Kuminga and push forward towards the future. Let's get something to get excited about. Light the beam. Get downhill. Get someone who can get in the paint and dunk on someone. Let's do something different. Do something else.
I'm here for the do something else because Sacramento's current method of playing right now is a little bit confusing to me. They have talent. I'm not sure how all of that talent meshes. And I think if you do want to get a little bit younger, like, is this a Kaminga for like DeMar DeRozan type trade that you're thinking about? Is this Kaminga for Malik Monk? Like, what kind of goes into your mind on that?
Insert bucket getter here. Go.
Okay, well, I guess if that's the bit, then the Kings do have plenty of those. So I can vibe with Jonathan Kuminga in Sacramento. I think that works for him. I wonder if him and Keegan Murray immediately hit the group chat like, hey, man, I'm going to shoot a bunch. Are you going to shoot a bunch? I'm going to try to shoot a bunch. You going to pass me the ball? I might. Are you going to pass me the ball? I might. But you get some young, talented forwards in the room. I think that'd be pretty cool. Play
Got some.
around Sabonis.
I
That'd be
got some
cool.
early feedback from the chat. Sacramento has no one the Warriors would need. I mean, come on, Malik Monk next to no doesn't do it for you. Also, I did see some feedback earlier. Said, hey, we need a center. What about Vooch? I think we all would agree Vooch and Golden State would be fantastic. It seems like Golden State does not agree with that because we have not seen it. Also, I'm seeing a lot of y'all in the chat saying the Warriors should just pick up Dame. Now that is greed. That is greed. Greed.
Well, hey, I mean, Steve, anytime you go from Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson as shooters to Stephen Curry and Buddy Hield as shooters, like there's just a big void in terms of shooting alongside Steph. So you have to get Damian Lillard, who is also one of the greatest shooters of all time. You know what I mean? You got to keep the train rolling. I understand.
Okay, fill the void with your second team.
You know what? Fair enough. Another team that has room, has trade exceptions, and I think has an interesting roster fit. How about the Brooklyn Nets? If we're talking about a team that literally they could bypass the sign and trade if they want to, I believe they have enough cap space to pull something off. But they do also have some interesting role pieces there. They just completed a Cam Johnson trade not too long ago, so certainly willing to make a move if you want to give some pick compensation or something else. Is this an avenue for the Golden State Warriors to get someone like a Nicholas Claxton in the room if they want to bolster the front court depth, get a little bit more athleticism, get a little bit more versatility in the room? Maybe that's something you can do. And so I'd be intrigued with Jonathan Kuminga once again in a new spot, less championship exposure going to Brooklyn or championship expectations. So he gets to spread the wings, put the ball in his hands. I think it'd be an interesting spot for old Jonathan Kuminga.
So, just in theory, we're going with the Brooklyn Nets' new big three of Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., and Jonathan Kuminga. Oh my!
It's a lot of buckets, Steve. And the game is and has always been about a bucket.
I was gonna say it's a lot of attempts, but I understand the enthusiasm. I respect it. I think the chat would get behind that version of the Brooklyn Nets. It'd be a 2K fave, maybe, probably not. I have a team. I don't agree with the chat's deal that I saw earlier. I don't think this team should give up Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, but I think the Miami Heat should give them a ring. Miami Heat add Jonathan Kuminga. You lost Jimmy Butler. You got Andrew Wiggins, and well, that went away. We can put it that way. Let's get some youth in the building, some athleticism. Let's build on his scoring ability. Get him in that Heat culture. Get him playing defense. Let's shake things up. I think Kaminga would be a really good fit there. He's looking to spread his wings. They're looking for bucket getters. I think it's time for them to shake hands. Jonathan Kuminga, time for you to be a Miami Heat.
Okay, well, the Heat and Jonathan Kuminga have been linked pretty much the entirety of this offseason so far. So if you're talking about a natural fit, there have already been talks, so it's not out of the question there. The Heat, even after signing and trading away Duncan Robinson, well, I guess that's where it gets iffy because I think because of the Duncan Robinson sign and trade, I think they are a second apron team. So I don't know if they could absorb a sign and trade right now. Now that I think about it. But I think in terms of the on-court fit, it makes sense. If you're trying to go a little bit younger and you want to lean more into your younger talent, that is some of the reporting that came out of Miami today. Shout out Barry Jackson. That the plan is to let the young people go, see what we got here. We're not pushing for a title. We're going to be opportunistic with potential trades, but ultimately we want to lean a little bit more on the youth. Jonathan Kuminga is young and talented, is looking for a new spot. You put him, under the tutelage of an Eric Spoelstra. I think it would make some sense. So I definitely see it. I definitely see it. So again, I'm curious to see like what the actual configuration of a deal would look like, but the interest still appears to be there between the two sides. So I hear you.
There we go. Real quick from the chat. They're talking Sixers. I believe Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, Kaminga. Would you do it? They're not on our list, but I'm intrigued. Thoughts?
Kaminga Quentin Grimes double sign and trade would really be interesting to me. Like this feels like something the Warriors would probably be more keen to do than the Sixers would be, at least off the top of my head. But that's something that I hadn't considered before, so I'll give a quick salute there. I think this is a Warriors yes, Sixers no, off the top of my head.
Okay, understood. Who's your next team, bud?
All right, we'll go number 3. Once again, the parameters I was looking at. Does this team have mid-sized salaries or some veterans that the Warriors may like? Does this team have a big trade exception enough so Golden State could add a second player into this deal to kind of get around the base year compensation rule that you likely have to deal with Jonathan Kuminga getting a big payday? Steve, I entered the New Orleans Pelicans into the chat.
No, wait, hold on. Before you go further, this feels like cheating. They already signed Kevon Looney.
So you get a little bit of familiarity in the front court there with Kevon Looney. You see them screens I was setting, etc. But it's clear that they're taking some swings on some young talent. It's clear after moving CJ McCollum, getting Jordan Poole in the room, that I certainly think they could use a little bit more rim pressure, especially as they wait for DeJounte Murray to recover from his injury. They've got wings, they've got bigs. Makes sense for those two to at least have a phone call. And again, if you're Jonathan Kuminga, I think transition with Jonathan Kuminga on one side, Zion Williamson on the other side. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. It'd be a lot of fun to watch, in my opinion. But spread your wings in what isn't a win now situation right now, and let's see what it looks like. So I'd be intrigued with Kaminga in New Orleans. And again, just in terms of actually being able to put a deal together, I think New Orleans is a team that actually has the facilities and the cap exceptions necessary to pull something like this off.
I understand. I saw in the chat, it did say, let's bring back, it said Jordan Poole and it said bring back Jordan Poole in the trade.
See,
look at Giants fan 28. Called it. Called his shot.
Hey, we got the highlighted chat. I respect it. I don't know. I mean, Jordan Poole doesn't have a no trade clause, so like if the deal is done, then I mean you could just do that. I don't know if that's a thing that would be seriously considered. I feel like Jordan Poole would quick knock on the door, like, hey, Mr. Weaver, sir, please no. I don't want to do that. Very awkward ending to my tenure there. A lot of commentary after the hashtag incident based on the ending of my tenure there. Can we turn this into like a 3-team deal or something so I go somewhere else and then Golden State get some other veterans in the room? I don't know if Jordan Poole would be very pleased with that one.
Understood. It'd be interesting. I'm sure if you're a Warriors fan, you would gladly take a Herb Jones or a Trey Murphy III in exchange for Jonathan Kuminga. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah, they would do that. Now, New Orleans, on the other hand, hold on, better player.
Yeah, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So that might get a little hazy.
But let's see. I have a curveball for you, Nikias.
Okay.
There's a team that's active. There's a team that's young. There's a team that gets up and down the court. They are in the Eastern Conference. They're the Charlotte Hornets. Why not, if you're resetting the culture, why not put some pieces together and try and find a way to open things up and add Jonathan Kuminga to your core and move forward with a fun, fast-paced offense in Charles Lee's defensive culture, fit him in, make it work, take a step, move. The East is open. Why not take a swing?
Wow. I can't say I would have considered Charlotte for this. This is an interesting one. This is an interesting one. As I made like the fast break example in New Orleans, LaMelo Ball gets a steal or gets a defensive rebound. He looks up court. On one side is Brandon Miller, who can shoot or can dunk on your face. And on the other side is Jonathan Kuminga, who is more than willing to put you underneath the basket with a dunk attempt himself. LaMelo, very comfortable tossing those like half court lobs and stuff. Huh.
Yeah.
That is interesting. And Charlotte does still have like some role pieces that'd be interesting.
Yeah, got him. Got him. Got him. Yeah. The Buzz City. Chat, what do you think of Kaminga to Charlotte?
Yeah, I want to hear the chat's reaction.
Keep it real with me. What do you think? Give me some feedback. LaMelo for Kaminga.
Well, I don't
know.
Oh
my.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. I don't know if the Charlotte Hornets would do that. If you want to go way back, the Warriors already had the chance to have LaMelo Ball on their roster, and they decided to take a center instead.
Well, I believe they were saying that would right the wrong.
Yeah, but that's
It's okay. So LaMelo's too much. I'm not seeing the opposition, so I'm taking this as a big dub for me. I'm taking this as a win. Taking this okay. LaMelo allows. I'm taking it as a win.
Hold on, we got a Houston shout in the chat. Can we get a Houston for let's say Steven Adams or someone else? That would certainly give Golden State their big. I don't think Houston.
I would not do that if I was the Houston Rockets. No disrespect.
We got a
Every,
trade for Kessler in the chat. So I guess this is a Utah reference.
Oh, okay. So we have opposing chat thoughts because someone was like, "Hey, all these trades are bad. They need to stretch five." Nikola Vucevic, and then it's trade for Walker Kessler. And here's the thing: I don't know if they trade for Walker Kessler considering they have Laurie Markkinen and hey, Ace Bailey, please come to work.
I guess when you put it that way,
heck no. If you're the Warriors, why'd you do that? It's fair. It's fair.
Okay,
I guess they're saying this trade is a bridge too far. That's on me.
No shot. Marketing for Kuminga in the chat.
Sure, the Hornets would want Kuminga, but Golden State ain't let him go unless they get something in return. I mean, Grant will. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, between Grant Williams, Josh Green, like those aren't exciting names, but you think about how the Warriors want to play. You want ball movers, you want willing cutters, you want guys that can defend multiple positions. Like either one of those guys fit. And if you're signing a trade in Jonathan Kuminga, like you're not getting an A+ asset back for Kuminga anyway. So like again, there are role pieces in Charlotte that would help Golden State.
I see. Looking at the chat, Kaminga to the Celtics, buddy. They just traded Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Their best move is calling Damian Lillard. Kaminga from Link Monk. I need that. Monk is a bucket. See, there is someone that from Sacramento can help.
There's a nod to you, Steve. There you go. You like the Sacramento shot. Jonathan Kuminga for LeBron. I don't know if the Los Angeles Lakers would seriously consider that one. Now, would LeBron James consider the Golden State Warriors? Apparently, we can't rule anything out. But I don't know if it's going to be a Jonathan Kuminga deal, sadly. Can't get all the way there. All right, Steve, are you ready for my final team?
Yeah.
If you want young, if you want exciting, if you want to add to a wing/forward room, if you want what isn't a win now situation right now, and if you're the Golden State Warriors, if you are looking for a team where, again, you can offload someone into a trade exception to make this deal viable, and for a trading partner that has some veterans that can help you win now, look no further than a team that has already traded for multiple veterans over the last 6 months for this very reason. Could I interest you in the Washington Wizards, Steve?
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
Could I interest you in the Washington Wizards? Where can we work out a 2 or a 3 team construction, or maybe even a 4 team construction where we can land one of CJ McCollum, who's recently there? Could we get a Chris Middleton in the room to add to some of the half court scoring? But ultimately for Jonathan Kuminga, hey man, put me on this team with a young Alex Sarr and a young Bilal Coulibaly and a young Trey Johnson. We get some young bucket getters, some young athletes, some young guys that really want to get after it. I would be intrigued by that if I'm Jonathan Kuminga. I can spread my wings a little bit here. And we got a lot of like-minded, athletic, super competitive young dudes here. Washington building a solid culture. I feel like this could be mutually beneficial.
I see the chat Middleton for Kaminga, so you're getting some thumbs up there, some applause. I think it fits for Washington if you're looking to add to your core. I wonder if they're just trying to keep their flexibility, so would they go all in on Kaminga now? But and would they consider adding a Golden State Warrior after the last Golden State Warrior they added? I guess you could raise the eyebrow there. But I like the idea, and I think again he would be able to flex his wings with a young team. That'd be solid stuff. I like that one. Is this just reform? Is this just Steph Curry and CJ McCollum becoming like the Splash cousins?
He is another great shooter, so I mean it fits. Splash co-workers, you know.
Not the Splash, not the Splash associates.
It's the Splash Pals. There we go.
Okay. All right. Well, good. To the chat's loving that one. I got a curveball for my last one, guys.
Okay, let's get after it. Let's have some fun. What you got?
The Portland Trailblazers.
Huh.
We're young. We're fun. We're on the rise. We got contracts. We got pieces you want. You want Jeremy Grant? Come on. I know you do. You want Robert Williams? You need a big? What do you need?
Well, I guess when you put it that way, they do still just have bigs even after the buyout with DeAndre Ayton, which I don't know how many people had that on the bingo card, but
Why not? Let's get some more. Hey, Scoot, Shaden, Jonathan Kuminga. Let's go to the future.
Hmm.
Thinking about it. Had never thought about it until this very moment, did you?
Sure didn't. Sure did. You got me on that one and Charlotte. I just did not consider this.
Well, I had to think outside the box because I mean, if we get into a scenario where Golden State's like, "Hey, man, do you want to do this?" and everyone's like, "We don't have any cap space, buddy." Someone might pick up the phone and give a call. Why not Portland?
So
They got the
let's see this.
timeline. They got the pieces. You know what I mean? Jamie Grant would ball out Golden State. There was a funny one in the chat. It said the Golden State unks are downloading. Salute to that person. That was good stuff.
That's crazy. I saw I would take Denny Avdia for Jonathan Kuminga. Let me tell you who wouldn't do that. The Portland Trailblazers. Based on what we saw from Denny last season, in particular in the second half of last season.
Hey man, you want we piece together Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams? What you need? I'm just saying,
Well,
they got contracts, the guys.
they do have
Yeah.
they they do have contracts. You know what, Steve? That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. A guy to hand it to you. In the chat, maybe JK for Matisse Thybulle and Chris Murray.
See, they got pieces. You could add it together. Run to the trade machine. Tell me your favorite Blazer trade you came up with.
We'll throw in Moody if they want. Hey, tell you what, let me do some research very quick. We're gonna do some live research. Let's see how many trade exceptions Portland has here. Let's see if we can put something together. That's the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Ooh, they do still have a trade exception worth nearly $7 million that expires on July the 6th.
See?
So
Got about 4 days, man.
so that gets tough. That would depend on what Jonathan Kuminga's contract actually is. Again, that base year compensation bit is going to make it tough. But because if it was like $9 million or more, then you could get to we'll toss in Buddy Hield to make that work type bit. But Portland that has thrown me completely off.
Yeah, that's what I did. You got to think outside the box. Look, hey, Nakai's list is better. You want to know why? Because 3 of those 4 teams been reported to have ties to Jonathan Kuminga, leaving me in a bind. What you want me to say? The Lakers?
No.
No, but you got some momentum behind that Wizards one. I will say that.
The people respect Chris Middleton in here. That's what I'm talking about.
So before we recap, is there a team outside of Chicago that you think should make the call? And is there a team, like if you could take one team off my list, I'll take one off yours, who would it be?
Okay. Like take it off as in I don't like this or I'm taking this one?
You taking it.
Oh, okay. One team off your list, I would probably say again, if you're setting aside Chicago, I'm setting aside Miami since those 2 teams have just been the most prominent in Jonathan Kuminga talk. So I'm not going to cheat with that. So I guess between what's left, I'd probably say Charlotte.
Okay, sweet. I'm taking New Orleans. Joe Dumars is going to get it done. Bring us home.
That's fair. All right. To recap the Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade destinations list. For me, the Chicago Bulls, top of mind. They've been linked together forever. Just makes sense for them to make something happen. Have a phone conversation. We have the Brooklyn Nets. We have the New Orleans Pelicans going a little bit off the wall, but again, they have the facilities to get this done. And the Washington Wizards, who also have the facilities to get this done. And for Steve, the Sacramento Kings, top of mind for him, and for many in the chat, apparently. Shout out Malik Monk, future Golden State Warrior, I suppose. The Miami Heat, who continue to be linked to Jonathan Kuminga. The Charlotte Hornets, which caught me by surprise, but I'm intrigued. And the Portland Trailblazers, which I am still trying to wrap my head around. That's going to have me in a loop for the rest of the afternoon. So shout out to Steve for thinking outside the box and putting an interesting one together. Do we have some last second chats that we want to get to before we get out of here?
Drinking in. Steve, I need you to call the Portland GM. Now the funniest
got it in all caps too.
Now the funniest thing I'm trying to figure out is this a Warrior fan or a Blazer fan who said that in all caps?
We got Lakers question mark.
No.
Not the solemn no. The Spurs mentioned. They got Keldon Johnson. They got Jonathan Kuminga at home.
I feel like that's a different juice. Oh wait, they said the Lakers. So wait, can I do a thing real quick?
Sure. What you got?
LeBron to the Warriors.
We've done that already. No,
Oh,
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. We're getting more Spurs mentions in the chat.
chat said never.
Hey, listen, we can make everybody upset real quick before we get out of here. So Jonathan Kuminga to the Spurs. Welcome back, Harrison Barnes.
Okay, yeah, it's time to get the peace sign up. It's time to get the peace sign up. Yep.
All right. Well, with that being the case, thank y'all for rocking with us. You want to tap in with NBA daily content every weekday? Tap into the Bleacher Report app, tap into the Bleacher Report YouTube. If you aren't tired of us yet, we will be back later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the day 3 free agency winners and losers. So only talking about moves that happened today. So hopefully by 9 Eastern, we have more moves to talk about because it's been a kind of a quiet day, but come rock with us in about 2.5 hours. We will be back. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, and we will catch y'all later.